All right, let's get on to the next guy here. Another guy that's right in the same ADP range as Derrick Henry, not far off here. Joe Mixon, leaving the Cincinnati Bengals, now with the Houston Texans. Really interesting here, man. This is a guy that I love. Talk to me about Joe Mixon.
Well, John, first and foremost, for the listeners out there, we all know that I've had a little bit of thing with Joe Mixon, kind of want to kick him in the fucking face, as I said a few years ago, and, dogging my family members for drafting him. And boy, did I end up putting my own foot in my own ass, let me tell you. And so now, John, when you go and take Joe Mixon from the Bengals and put him on Houston, I don't want to kick him anymore. I want to cuddle him. I want to hold him. I want to bring him in for a warm Christmas dinner and beautiful soups. Don't know why soups are something, but there's something. And so, John, it's great. He ended up signing a 3-year extension, $25 million, $13 million guaranteed. What does this mean? This means this cat is going to be in Houston for years, for multiple years. You combine what he did for the Bengals, John. He had over 1,000 yards rushing last year. To be exact, 1,034, 9 rushing touchdowns. But here is the thing that people don't talk about enough. He had 52 receptions. He had 52 receptions, 376 yards receiving, and 3 receiving touchdowns. When you think about CJ Stroud, when you think about the other elements that CJ Stroud has around him now, we have Stefan Diggs. We have that of, which by the way, he may be a new face in a new place. We have Tank Dell. We also have that of Nico Collins. So, John, there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed. But again, what this does is this opens up Joe Mixon to much more of the playbook, whether it's running between the tackles, whether it's running flare routes, whether it's running Chicago-style routes. He is going to be able to get the ball from that of CJ Stroud. And I think he's going to be able to do dirty things with it, man. I think that this cat, from what we've seen in prior years of the Bengals, is only going to, which is kind of crazy to say it like this, but I think he's actually going to be even better than what we have seen due to the team he's around, due to the quarterback play, which he had Burrow, which is excellent. Now he has CJ Stroud, which is excellent. And now with the D'Amico Ryans head coach, I love Joe Mixon, this style of offense.
Yeah, I mean, you look at last year, Joe Mixon was a running back 6. I think we all forget that. It wasn't super sexy. It wasn't one of those guys that you had to have, but he's a guy that performs year in and year out, man. And what I like about it is that the team he's going to is built very similarly to the team he was on. Very similarly with the receiving weapons, with the offensive structure and how they play the ball or play offense. It's a similar situation. And this year, he's currently the 16th running back off the board. So I just think he's going to climb. It's just now August this week. He's going to climb up draft boards. But right now, being drafted off the board at 52, so you're saying he's a 4th round pick? I think he's an excellent value, man. All of the mock drafts that I have done, I go crazy when I see Joe Mixon sitting there because he is a workhorse back. He doesn't really have any competition behind him. You got a little bit of Damian Pierce in there, but Joe Mixon's the guy. He's the dude. They paid him. That is not a small contract for an older running back. So he got paid. He's going to be there. They've got investment in him. 3 down back, 65 targets last year. I mean, you give me that kind of shit. We talked about that with Saquon. Those were Saquon type numbers. That's beautiful. I want it. I'm sorry. I want Joe Mixon on my team. You get him as your RB2. I think you're in great shape. Great shape.
One of the other things too is we got to think about the defenses that he played last year. Guys, he was in the AFC North from when he was drafted. The AFC North has had the Baltimore Ravens, the Steelers, and that of the Browns. And yes, I'm recency bias with the Browns, just being last year being a top tier defense. But still, you look at the last 2 to 3 years, he's had to play nightmare situations. And to your point, has continued to produce at an elite level. You now replace that with those types of defenses, move him now to the AFC South, which, by the way, the teams that are playing, John, are dome teams with that of, the Colts that'll play twice a year. He'll also play in Jacksonville, warmer weather, right? And then obviously, we know Houston with his dome. So all of this plays into it, guys. This isn't just something that is like, oh yeah, no, weather absolutely is real, especially when you come from the AFC North and you play in the back half of the season. It's brutal. So now he's going to be playing in more domes more often, different styles of defense. John, this guy is only going to be able to get better, in my opinion.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. I want Joe Mixon on my team. Okay, let's move on to another guy here.